Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We just got some pretty surprising leaks and rumors in regards to Black Ops 7 and the launch time frame for it, which actually opens up the door for a much larger conversation, could potentially introduce some concerns, could also introduce maybe some reassurance at the same time, depending on how you view the situation. But these new leaks, these new rumors, which stem from a very credible source, do give us sort of indirect details, and we can make basic assumptions off of history and off of Call of Duty's track record in regards to other expectations around other certain things launching within the game. So this is a brand new report that just dropped from the Ghost of Hope. Charlie Intel also reporting on this, saying rumor Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will reportedly launch on Friday, November 14th. So first up, a November release. We've sort of gone back and forth between really late October releases and early-ish November releases for Call of Duty in its entirety. It's always launched before the first 2 weeks of November, essentially. And if this rumor ends up being true, Friday, November 14th would actually, I believe, be the latest launch date for a Call of Duty title. I know some other Black Ops games launched on like November 13th. I think BO2 launched on the 12th. So this would be technically the latest date for a Call of Duty title to launch yet, which could be good if it's going to take longer to release. That means the devs have just that much more time to work on polishing things, getting the day one patch ready, making sure everything is good to go for launch. That's the potential, hey, positive outlook here. Maybe they're doing it later because they want it to be as good as it can be on launch, which ultimately should be the goal regardless, right? Like that should always be priority number one. Sometimes it seems like it isn't though. On the other side, on the inverse here, could it be the latest date yet for a launch because they're scrambling to make sure things are finished with it? Like we've heard so many reports about how this was also in co-development with Black Ops 6, meaning technically Black Ops 7 will be a 5-year developed title by the time that it drops on November 14th. So that's something to take note of as well. Despite the fact that it's been in development for so long, potentially, in in theory, based on the leaks and the rumors so far, could they be setting themselves up for, hey, we need to push this back as far as we realistically can because we got to make sure we get things right. We're scrambling to make sure updates are out, updates are ready. This does, like I said, though, introduce an interesting timeline for Black Ops 7 and other various important updates in Call of Duty. Now, Modern Warzone does post this nice sort of collective roundup, so if you're trying to, pay attention to the overall schedule and when we might see more significant things happening with Black Ops 7, with Call of Duty in general, Modern Warzone posts the key dates for Black Ops 7. We've got the worldwide reveal coming up on August 19th at Gamescom Opening Night Live. With this, we obviously got this date just the other day. This is going to be the opener to the show, which is kind of interesting. That's typically not the case. We usually get it like, an hour in or something. You got to sit through a bunch of random games, then it's like, oh, hey, Call of Duty's here. This is going to be the opener in a massive way. Presumably this is just going to be like a campaign mission playthrough like what we typically see here, but maybe it's going to be more of a surprise if they're doing it as the opener and in a massive way, a little bit different from the previous reveals at Gamescom. But leading up to August 19th, we'll probably see a few other different reveals, maybe teasers of some kind, small things here and there, with the worldwide large reveal obviously happening at Gamescom. And this is when we should get the official confirmation on the release date. It's possible Call of Duty ends up, posting, hey, the game's going to drop on this date beforehand, or just outright announcing it. But for sure at this worldwide reveal, it's probably going to end off the campaign mission. It'll fade to black, then it'll say Call of Duty Black Ops 7 November 14th, pre-order now, gain early access to a bunch of stuff that we'll take away in 2 years. But we have that to look out for. And then COD Next reportedly going to be happening in late September, the end of September in Las Vegas. That's where we'll get full-on gameplay reveals for multiplayer, zombies, anything else, Battle Royale and Warzone, and all the updates there, and then actually have live gameplay of all of that as well. The beta should be happening presumably right after Next, maybe the weekend of Next or the week after Next happens. That's when the beta will go live, available on all platforms at the same time, and then the release date on November 14th. So reveal in August, Next in September, beta potentially late September, early October, and then full launch in November. That's the general timeline for Black Ops 7. What does this mean though? Well, the Ghost of Hope, the original source for all of this, has some thoughts. I've also got some additional ones as well. So Hope initially says here, I think you could speculate quite a bit if a Call of Duty game comes out in October or November. Usually, the incomplete games are in November, and this is the latest one we've ever had. October releases are usually the complete finished games. They set that earlier date in October because they're confident with the state of the game in whatever development stage it's in when they're planning out the launch cycle for it. As I alluded to at the start of the video, this could have something to do with the state of the game. It could not at the same time. Maybe they just wanted to release it a little bit later. There's a lot of stuff that Xbox is doing in October. Perhaps they wanted to save the spotlight for Call of Duty in November, so it could be a big deal closer to the holiday season as well, which I'll get to in a moment because that could be a little bit concerning, but interesting to note there. Modern Warzone does also mention with Hope here, says, all your leaks for this game have sounded like your expectations are very low, and Hope says, I fully expect them to reveal MW4 very early, just like they did during Vanguard, if perceptions don't change on this game. It's kind of objective right now, and I mean, I can see it firsthand with the content here. When I talk about Black Ops 7, there's a notable difference in the views that I'm getting, the engagement that's there. There is a lesser interest in Black Ops 7, probably because it's coming right after Black Ops 6, which has largely been a roller coaster, not a very fun one at that, since the game launched and the post-launch seasons began. The hype for this game is not going to be insane unless they go crazy with the marketing and crazy with the reveals. Hopefully they know that, and hopefully they're aware of that, so we do see some awesome things announced and they're confident in the state of the game. But some interesting things to note here. Also, when you look at this general timeline, this has always been a concern dating back to, when we started to see large seasonal updates and integration updates for Warzone in years past, the holiday season. Obviously, this is where the hype is for COD because it always drops near the holidays, late October, early November. And then it obviously does crazy stuff for, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all that. They're pushing sales and pushing promotions for that stuff because they want to capitalize on the consumer experience there, as you do, as all brands do at that time. But with this, the devs are human. They are going to take breaks. They're going to have holidays with their families. You think first up right away, November 14th launch date. Okay, what's immediately following that? American Thanksgiving. That's usually a week that the devs have off and the studios are off. That means just after launch, a few days, a week after launch, there might be a situation where the game is dropped, it just released. Usually the first 2 or 3 weeks of a Call of Duty game launching, there are updates almost every single day, fixing various different bugs and glitches, responding to things, addressing things. It's one of the busiest times of the year. It truly is the busiest time of the year, especially for me covering all the updates, which, hey, quick plug, if you guys want to stay up to date with everything going on in COD, I'm always covering the latest need to know info. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. If you guys enjoyed this video, you want to help share it around, a like rating is always seriously appreciated as well. But with that, game launches, potentially Thanksgiving break for the dev teams just a week plus later. That could be a little bit concerning because if the game launches in a rough state and people aren't in office, well, then you have a situation where the game is broken and no one's there to fix it. You then also throw back to years past where over the holiday break, like Christmas and New Year's in Cold War, when that integration dropped, we had DMR zone running rampant for weeks because the devs were out of office for the holidays and for New Year's in December. Yeah, with that could be a repeat situation here because, again, you look back at this launch date, November 14th. If this drops then, typically Season 1 is about 1 month after launch, and that's when we see the integration update for Warzone. So that would put us in about the middle of December. Let's say December 14th, December 15th, whatever, for the integration update for Warzone. Then, a week later, the devs would be out of office for Christmas and the holidays and for New Year's for an extended period of time. They'd be on a skeleton crew, and if the integration update goes wrong and there's problems with that, there's a potential where we have repeat scenarios where we're stuck in a game that's broken and it won't be getting updates because the devs are out of office. So launching this close to the holidays, and if they're sticking to their typical schedule here with their integration updates and the launch of the seasons and everything, it's a risky maneuver for sure. It's a risky move in general. Is it strategic because they're trying to make sure the game is as polished as it can be for launch? Maybe. Is it late because they're scrambling to get it done? Maybe. It's an interesting situation. Time is going to give us answers here, but those are the official Black Ops 6 launch details that have now been revealed here. Obviously, as we get new details, new information in the coming days, weeks, and months, I'll keep you guys in the know. So as mentioned, be sure to hit that sub button. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.